Okay, it's PCT day 31. We're still at mile 341.9 at CAJON Pass, just off the PCT. We're staying at the CAJON Pass Inn. This is our room. Typical hiker fashion. We got stuff drying, hanging, tons of food trash. We got most of our resupply there. We got a few things to buy. It's a really nice big room. Fridge and microwave's been nice. Cleaned out all our bottles. All the camera stuff charging. Knox and Sawyer's cleaned up. Pots cleaned out. So yeah, we had dinner at Del Taco last night. That was good. Had Del Taco for breakfast this morning. Dad's going to look. There's a local fruit vendor. He's going to look if that. He was there yesterday. See if he was here today. There's a Subway across the road we might try out. But we've just been taking it easy. I've been getting caught up on videos. Skyped with the family a couple times. Going to do it again later tonight. That was really nice to see all of them. And yeah, just resting up. Everything feels good. I think we're going to wait till about 11 when checkout is tomorrow. Soak up as much of this as possible. Weather's not supposed to be too warm tomorrow. And then head out at 11. Might record a little bit more tonight because otherwise there's not going to be a lot. Got our hats hanging there. Not going to be a lot to show for today. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so we're still here on our 0 day. Just taking it easy, resting, not doing much, eating quite a bit, so that's fun. Feet feel good. We got our shoes kind of taped up, some holes that are forming. Dad's gaiters started to rip, so we taped those up. I got a hole in the crotch of my pants. Funny story, when I was at Motel 6, where were we at? Big Bear. I went to get ice in one hand, stuff from the store in the other hand. I had my Motel 6, the key card to get into the room, put it in my back pocket because I didn't have a hand for it. Start walking, and all of a sudden I hear the card hit the floor. I'm like, what the heck? So I reach back, and there's a hole in my back pocket. I'm like, gosh dang it. So I pick up the card, back up, put it in my other back pocket, take 3 more steps, boom, fall again. So I got holes in both back pockets. I'll show you. This side pocket is completely started to rip. There was a gigantic hole right down in the crotch area. So we had bought a sewing kit after our other needle broke that Scout gave us at Scout and Frodo's. So we kind of I did a sewing job on that. Did a sewing job on his gaiters. So anyway, we've just been sitting here. I made a bunch of videos. I still have a bunch of photos to post to Instagram and some other stuff like that, but getting caught up on some of the videos. So I made 5 or 6 already today. Kind of fun watching some of the other days, but I noticed in one of the other days I made a mention about a really hard day and an emotionally rough day, and I talk about it later. Well, you film it, you got so much else going on, you forget. So I thought today, being a 0 and not having a whole lot to film, be a short video, might be a good time to talk about it. So basically, I can't remember what episode it was. It's when we're coming down from San Jacinto. We finally got down to the valley floor. It's the day we went to Popeyes and Belmont. We kind of got down to the valley floor, and me and Dad started talking while we were walking, and he's just been, the whole San Jacinto climb was brutal on him. The way down was brutal. We just had a brutal couple of days, and he did not expect the elevation gain and loss in California. It was similar to when I came out and did this. I was used to Oregon. I'd done 3 miles an hour most of the time. And then when I first started doing the PCT back in 2020, it was like, oh, you're not going to be able to do the same mileage because the elevation is just different here and the heat. So all that was hitting him pretty hard. And just he had a couple days where he was just no energy by the end of the day, just done. He's like, if there was a button to get me out of here, I'd do it and get picked up. So he's like, just letting you know, I'm starting to feel that way, that maybe I need to get off trail. He said, I'm not getting off trail now, but maybe it's something we need to start thinking about because it's too much. So we had a little talk, and I said, every single day when I'm out here, I think at least once a day, what am I doing? Like, it's hard, it's all day, I'm away from my family, I could be at home sipping something cool, I could be doing 1,000 other things. So I think that. But I also have days where it's wonderful out here, it's beautiful, it's mind-blowing, it's the adventure of a lifetime, and that just fuels me for the other days. I said, if you don't have that to him, I love that you want to be with me, but if it's only to be with me and you don't have days where it's like, oh, this is wonderful, then I don't want you out here because you're not enjoying it. It'd just be torturous for nothing every day, all for the sake of me. And I'm like, we can hang out, spend time with me. We can do that at home. We can do that on short hikes. We can do it in Oregon. We can do it camping and a lot more, I don't know, a lot more fancy camping than doing this kind of miles and just this kind of trudge if you're not enjoying that side of it. So we said, well, I'm not ready to leave now, but I think it's something we ought to think about and start kind of planning for. So as the days went by, we had a bunch more hard days. We had a really hot day. We had our rest in Belmont. We had a bunch more hard days. Climbing out of Mission Creek. The day we went to the wind generator farm was super hot. The next day was even hotter and a lot of climbs. Very little water. We spent our longest time resting. Like, we rested for like 4 hours straight, multiple days, just because no energy and because of the heat to hide. And then we had that brutal last day out of Mission Creek where we were both just absolutely exhausted. And Dad said that day, he's like, if there was a way to pick me up right here and call it, I'd call it. So I was trying to mentally wrap my head around the whole thing because initially I was going to do the whole thing by myself. And then when Dad came along and wanted to do it, I was through the roof excited, but just kept thinking, like, if he backs out at any point beforehand, I'm fine because I was going to do the whole thing anyway. But now I've got so used to having him here, and I love it. Like, to do it with someone, to me, is like way better. Like, you're experiencing this stuff together, you're going through the same things, you have someone all the time. For some people that wouldn't be nice. They like the solitude, and you have to have the right person, but our relationship is perfect for that. And I also think he balances out my want to push. So he's like, you could do more miles without me. I'm like, maybe I could, but I do more miles to the point where I got hurt, or I push myself too far because I would just want to be done. Like, there at the end of Oregon, I pushed, and I could push, but I also wanted to be done, and so I pushed and didn't hurt myself, but also didn't enjoy the whole time because I wanted to be done. Now, with this, there is some days that I want to be done. I want to see my family. I want to stop doing this, but I'm having such a good time with Dad. There's a side of it where it's like, this is fun. I want to continue to do this, and I want, especially the Sierras. I want to get to the Sierras with him and to see all that. It's just going to be amazing. He's going to just love it. It's just going to be the experience, and the effort to go 700 miles in the desert to get to it is such an achievement. So I kept telling him, like, yeah, if you go, I might be able to go faster, but I think you're helping me by being here. You're keeping me grounded in how fast we can go, and we're slowly both building up, and I think we'll get better. So I was like, don't put it on me whether you want to stay or go. That has to be your decision because, I can't make that for you. I want you to want it. I want you to want to be here and to do this stuff, not just for me, but for the adventure of it all. So we're kind of back and forth. And we started talking about when we got here, Cajon Pass being a perfect pickup spot for my aunt and my grandma to come and pick him up, and he could spend some time in San Diego with his mom and with his sister, and then eventually fly back. Was kind of the rough plan, but it wasn't completely determined. The other factor is he's on this thyroid medication that he didn't bring with him because he didn't think it really had any effect at home and didn't feel any different, and also he thought it was causing more of his leg cramps that my mom had said you should take, but he was already carrying all this other medication and trying to manage that. He thought that was the least important. Well, when we got into Big Bear, we met another hiker named Flower, who may have in some ways saved our hike together, who had a similar, she was on a higher dosage but had a thyroid issue and had to rush into Big Bear because she didn't have enough of her medication and she was having some scent. And it was Taco Tuesday. We had tacos together, she ate with us, and she told Dad, like, thyroid affects everything. That's energy level, and your energy level, he's like, you need to take it. He's on a much lower dosage and see what it is. Still, it's going to affect everything. So he contacted Mom, who'd been pushing this whole time to be like, hey, you need to get back on this medication. It'll make a difference. And when he started to mention leaving the trail, she's like, why don't you try the medication first and see if it makes a difference? So she got a rush push to the Walgreens in Big Bear. While we were there, we were able to pick up the medication. He was able to get on it, and then at the same time, the trail out of Big Bear was a lot smoother, a lot flatter, not as much climb. So the combination of the two things, felt fantastic. And I think like 2 days out of Big Bear, he's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna stay. And I'm through the roof happy. And he said, I got way more get up and go. He's like, climbs are still hard, hot days are still hard. You're still heavy breathing. You're still sweating. He's like, but what he was calling like the juice is extra energy to be like keep pushing on, the mental energy for it, or the physical energy for it to like, okay, I can keep going, I can go a little further, was gone. He said since getting back on the thyroid, all that's there again. I mean, there's been days when he's been faster than I am and ready to get up and go before I am, and that was not the case. Like a lot of days we'd take long breaks till he felt ready to go, and now that's not the case, and he's able to push. And we did a couple days. We did like 13 or 14 miles. Like I could have done 2 more. I could have done 3 more. I could have done a few more. And that's excellent. And then we started breaking records. We started hitting our longest days. We had the Trail Magic Day where we pushed it at 18. On our Nero into here, we did like a 14-mile day. Huge days. Our average has been going up like crazy. He's feeling great. So far, fingers crossed, everything's awesome. So basically that whole situation just worked itself out, which is just fabulous because I don't want to say an emotional wreck about it, but I didn't know about going on by myself. I knew I could push more miles, but I just had learned to love having him here on a different level. Like I was excited about it from day one, but it was a whole new level to have him here. In reality, once it really happened, how cool it is to do this with him. So I just hope it continues to go that way. I hope we continue to be each other's balance and safe and go the right amount and stay healthy and able to do this. And we're making the miles and we're making better time now. We're not the fastest, we get passed all the time, but we hike early, we hike late. We make good decisions about water when we need to rest during the day. We're not trying to race anyone. We take zeros when we need to take zeros, and we don't debate over that. Like, hey, if we need to rest, we need to rest. There's nothing not wrong with needing to rest. And it's a long trail, and we have a lot of chance to get hiker legs or whatever and get better and better. We think we're already getting some of that. We're able to push and do more miles than we did. We're improving. And when you look at the timetable, it's a really good timetable for where we want to be and what we want to do. So I think we started out at a perfect speed. And now that he's got his medication, I think we're good. So that was that little thing I mentioned that was kind of an emotional thing. So I didn't know how I was going to do without him. I think I could go on without him. I'm in California. Nothing is stopping me now. I have to see this through this time unless something out of my control comes up again. So take advantage of this opportunity. They're not just going to keep coming, these opportunities to do this. So I would have pushed on, and I would have had to make more friends on trail or something to kind of fill that gap. But I'm so glad that's not the case. I'm so glad he's still here. I'm so glad we're doing this together. It's amazing. So I'm so glad all those things. I'm glad Mom pushed for the medication. I'm glad Flower came along and it happened. I'm glad Walgreens and the pharmacy and the doctor and all that could make it happen. I'm glad the medication worked. I'm glad we had all those small days out of Big Bear to help give him time to recover from that. I'm glad in some ways with San Jacinto out of the way, not that we don't have other climbs, but when we looked at the graph of all the elevation gains and drops through California, San Jacinto is one of the, from the lowest points to the highest points. A lot of the other stuff is higher, but you don't start low and go high over a series of days. You got all these little tiny climbs throughout the Sierras. You're up high all the time, but it's not a consistent 3 days worth of climbing or 2.5 days worth of climbing. So not that we're not going to have hard days, not that we're going to have hot days, but we face that and we're okay with doing small miles. That's what's needed. What's most important is we're doing it together at whatever pace is best for us. So now this video is going to be a whole lot of talking and nothing else. Dad ran literally across multiple lanes of the freeway. Hopefully he went under the underpass. We're still trying to figure out how to do it. It's a funky place here for hikers because there's a McDonald's and there's a Del Taco and there's a Subway, but there's no crosswalks anywhere to get to any of those places. So you're walking on major roads with major 4-lane, 5-lane traffic or underpasses or just weird ways to get to it. So he's going to go get Subway. He's over there now getting that tonight. We're going to have Subway tonight. We're watching some basketball games. We tried to find a way to get into a theater to go see Doctor Strange. It just came out. But it was like $30 for an Uber in and then $30 for an Uber out, $60 plus the cost of tickets. It would have been about $80 to go see the movie. So we're hoping there's a location down the trail where we can see Doctor Strange. So we're very excited about the new movie coming out, and worried about spoilers because even without service, like I feel like someone's gonna say something or we're gonna read something the longer it's out. So anyway, yeah, the plan is tomorrow. I think checkout's at 11, so we're just gonna sleep in, hang out, get all our stuff ready. There's no rush. Hit the trail at 11. Do what we can do based on heat and wind. It's supposed to be cooler tomorrow and less windy, so it could be perfect. And yeah, back on trail. So the zero's been fantastic. Trying to think if I'll film again. Probably won't film again tonight unless something else happens, but I don't think so. So I want to thank everybody, and there's been even more people viewing the videos that I put out recently. So I want to thank you guys for that, and I will talk to you tomorrow.